Welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at the first section of the CEM and GL verbal reasoning syllabus. This section focuses on the alphabet, and today we'll be discussing the key techniques needed to master the questions thrown at you in the exam. So as you can see, we've got the alphabet up here and we've got some examples that we're going to go through, and we're going to be giving different questions with those 5 words. And the words are fabulous, treacle, blossom, abdicate. So one of the first type of questions you'll get are which letter is in the position or 12 in the alphabet, or 13 in the alphabet. And it's very simple. Most of you who do the 11 plus are very able, so you'll be able to answer these with ease. So all you have to do is literally just count your way through it, and you should find the letter. So if I was to give you the answer, which letter is in the position 10, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, J. Very simple. Those are like the really simple questions, like the 1 marker that you should be able to fly through within a couple of like 5-6 seconds. And then you get the ones which are like, if the alphabet was written backwards, which letter would be in position X? So they give you a position. So if the alphabet was written backwards, which letter would be in position? And so if the alphabet was written backwards, which letter would be at a position in the alphabet? So it could be like position 5, position 6. And all you have to do is just almost like flip it in your head, or it's very simple. You can flip it in your head, which is what I like to do, or you can simply just renumber them all and give them all a number. So instead of one being A, one would be Z, and then you just do it like that. So it's very simple, both really simple, fly by them in a couple of seconds, really simple. And then we're going to move into the ones where they'll give you words, and you have to work with the alphabet to answer the questions. So they could be giving you like which is, so they'll give you a letter like which is in fabulous, what position is U in the alphabet. So they'll ask what number position is U in the alphabet. So as I say, a key technique is to actually just underneath, I would just write A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, and that way it's very simple. So if they ask you, for example, what is the alphabet position of the 4th letter in fabulous, all you have to do is just find U, look for the number underneath, write the answer, easy. Same with treacle, blossom, abdicate, exact same thing. And that is like most of the questions. And then the last bit of the question will be, so they give you a word like fabulous, and what you'd have to do is they'll ask you, if all the letters in fabulous were removed from the alphabet, what would be the letter in position, I don't know, let's just say 5, position 5. So in fabulous, you have to take out F-A-B-U-L-O-U-S, so A will be gone, B gone, so C would be the new number 1, then be 1, 2, 3, 4, F is gone, so G is 4, there's no H, so H would be the new letter, and would be the new position 5, and you'd write H down for that question. So they are pretty much all of the questions you get in the exam about alphabet positioning. So now we're going to move on to identifying a letter from a clue, where they would give you a clue and you'd have to identify the letter. Relatively easy, and they do intertwine with each other, which is why we've got them in the same video. So now we're going to have a look at identifying a letter from a clue. So as you can see, I've got some clues written down. The alphabet is there to help, obviously, but no one really needs it. It's just there because in what we do after, which is alphabetical order, where some more questions, we'll need the alphabet. So now we're going to have a look at identifying a letter from a clue. Questions are relatively easy. They sometimes do trick you out with what words they use. Like for example, I've got most often there, and those they do trick people out. Like I remember my brother was saying he got tricked out by one, but yeah. So now we're going to have a look at them. So as you can see, it's ready. Just read the clue, and most of you will just get it timed. I got some key techniques and some key exam techniques that work well with these questions, but let's go through it. So once in a pickle, twice in a bed rackle, and 3 times in carefree. So I always start with the one which has the most, so 3 times in carefree, because they tend to be the easiest one to spot. So as you can see, E appears 3 times, so we're looking for, now we have to check to make sure E is twice in bed rackle and once in pickle. Is it twice in bed rackle? Yes it is. Is it once in pickle? Yes it is. Very easy, there's your mark, E is the answer. Number 2, twice in accent, once in changing. So as you can see, we start with twice because it's more, because you'll be able to see it quicker. So C appears twice in accent, so now we'll check if C appears once in changing. Yes it does. C, there's your answer, mark done. Now most often tricks people out, as I said before. So what you have to look for is what are all synonyms for most often, and they tend to be like most, more, and they tend to be like appears more than once. appears more than once. So what appears more than once in all three? Well, S in glossary, S in abscess, and S in glasses, which means the answer is S. Very easy. Just make sure you read it properly so you know exactly what's happening. Right. So once in magician, once in magnetic, but not in magazine, and that but not in tricks people out a lot. So you have to make sure you just read through it, and it's very easy. Just don't get tricked out. So what's not? So all you have to do is start with obviously the one which is most, but they're both the same. So you can just pick magician. Once in magician there's quite a lot, but then what you have to do is you have to go look at magnetic and just see which appears in both once. And there is a lot. So there's M, there's A, there's N, and there is C, and there is C. So now we've got to go there. M appears in that, so it can't be M. N appears in that, can't be N. It can't be N, can't be M, so it must be C. And that's pretty much how you identify letters from a clue. It's really easy, simple. Most people get it. Just don't get tricked out by the different vocabulary they put in. For example, but not in, and most often. Just don't get tricked out. Just think synonyms of it, and you should all be really fine with that. As you can see, confound and conflagration both start with F. Both have the fourth letter as F. Whereas in contaminated and collaboration, it's T and U, which means confound and conflagration go first and second. So now, with confound and conflagration, you have to look at the fifth letter, which is O and L. And we know that L comes before O, which means the first word in this sequence is conflagration is the first word. Confound is the second word. And now we have to look at the fourth letter of contaminated and collaboration, because they don't have the same, whereas in confound and conflagration they have the same fourth letter, so we have to go to the fifth letter. So in contaminated and collaboration it's T and U. T comes before U in the alphabet, so it goes, so the word order goes conflagration, confound, contaminated, collaboration. And very simple. And if it asks you for which comes last, say which comes last, you get a lucky one, you get easy, you're lucky, you get it easy. Collaboration is what you have to write. Right, formidable, forested, fortification, forcibly, and forbidding. Right, so same principles apply. We find out which letter they all have different, and from what I can see, I believe it is the fourth one, because the formidable has M, forested as E, fortification as T, forcibly as C, and forbidding as B. Right, so as you can see, B is obviously the first one, so B is first, forcibly is obviously the second one. So now you have to look at T, M, and E. E is obviously the third one, and it's T and M, sorry. T and M, and M definitely come before, which means the order is forbidding, forcibly, forested, formidable, fortification, and if it asks you for, let's say, the second one, you just write forcibly and the marks are there. So it's very simple. Now we're going to have a look at, so now what they might do is give you a word. So we're just going to take behavior, for example, and they're going to ask you which letter in the word behavior comes nearest the start of the alphabet. So it's very simple. A. So those are very simple, and but then it might ask you which letter comes to the end of the alphabet. So to the end, not the start, the end. So you just got to look at it and just see which one. So you could obviously start with O or U. O is near P and U is near V. And but there's V in behavior. So U is near V. V is V. Is there anything after V? No. So V is your answer. Relatively simple. It may ask you to spell the words backwards. In this case, you just write the words backwards and then put them in alphabetical order. Same principles apply. Always start from the first letter, no matter what. Always start from the first letter and work to the end. Always start from the first, work to the end. And yeah, that is pretty much it. That's pretty much all the questions you're going to get in the first section of verbal reading, the alphabet section. Very simple to answer. Make sure you use the resources given. They will always give you an alphabet, I'm pretty sure. And if they do not, just write down the alphabet in front of you and utilize it as much as you can. Thank you so much for listening, and watching, and I hope you learned something. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell. It really helps. Thank you.